What's up, guys? It's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy, trying to bring you some down-to-earth content. Welcome back to my Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today we're going to be watching episode 39, Wish and Promise, I believe the title is called. We got to be getting some Kurapika episodes, I'm sure, right? We've kind of... I feel like we're going to put Gon and Killua on the back burner for now, since we had such a momentous couple of episodes with them leaving the old arc behind, moving forward into the next arc, but we need to bring things up to speed, add some context in. We don't know anything about Leorio right now, we don't know anything about Kurapika, but Kurapika right now is the most fledged out in terms of we know what he's doing, where he is somewhat, that he's also training under Nen. These have to be Kurapika episodes, or at least this episode has to be dedicated to Kurapika, I imagine, because I just don't see what more we need to know about Gon and Killua in this point in time right now. We need to know about Kurapika, we need to know about Leorio before we get to Yorknew and the new arc. So that's what I'm guessing we're going to be getting in this episode. Remember, my original theories were Kurapika is a conjurer, base state conjurer, scarlet eyes specialist. Now, the specialist is still a theory to me, but I now know that Kurapika has to be a conjurer because I've never watched the outro in full before. But one random episode, I think I just decided, hey, let's just listen to the whole song. Let's watch the whole outro to its completion. And part of the outro showed the diagram of the Nen types, and with each corner having its own color. And I saw, I think it was yellow or something. I don't remember what color it was. But you saw the corner that... You know how a fucking pentagon works, that the only possible corner that it showed would have been bottom right, which is where Conjurer's type resides, and it showed Kurapika's face. So I know objectively Kurapika has to be a Conjurer, which kind of sucks that I found out from that and not actually story-wise. I would have wished to find it out in an episode, but oh well. I know that Kurapika is a conjurer. I got that right, but I'm still predicting that Kurapika goes into specialist form when the Scarlet Eyes come out, because a specialist type seems so rare and unique to me that you need something unique and rare about yourself to trigger that. And what's more rare and unique than being a member of the Curta clan, the only remaining member of the Curta clan, with their eyes, let alone alive, where you get the Scarlet Eyes, and that's just gonna trigger specialist state. So, without any further talking from me, I know nothing about this episode, but I'm already going to imply that I'm gonna be watching a Kurapika episode right now. So, Hunter x Hunter, episode 39, in 3, 2, 1. Let's watch, shall we? Is this a new intro? I don't remember. It's been a while. Enhancer. This has to be a new intro. I've never seen this. Able to strengthen various objects' effectiveness. Okay. Transmuter. Use their aura to alter objects' qualities. Yep, I already know that. Conjure. Kurapika. Somewhat akin to transmuters, Conjure is able to manifest their aura. So, okay, I see objects. They have to be doing this because we're getting Kurapika. Emitters can propel. Manipulators can use their auras to control objects and creatures. Okay, they have to be doing this because we're getting Kurapika. Are those with rare abilities that don't fit in the other 5 classes? Begin by determining which category your aura falls in. That is the first step to becoming a skilled Nen user. Oh, okay, we're getting the ending of the previous... I thought we were getting another Gon Killua episode. Man, I'm just coming off of watching episode 1 of the 99 series. I got it. I do not like that revelation about Mito taking custody of Gon. It contradicts a lot of my feelings and a lot of what we were told or what was conveyed in episode 37 and 38. I honestly do not like it. We are getting a Kurapika episode though. But yeah, in my discussion for the episode 1, if you watch that, you'll get more of my opinions on that. I want to focus on this episode. We saw this already. Only one other person is dropped by, which was the teacher or what? And they denied Kurapika because he knew, that chick knew that he wasn't a Nen user yet because he couldn't detect what she did. Laughing experience, but you're not truly a hunter until you master Hatsu and Nen. Hunter license isn't enough. You're not in that next stage of the exam yet. Yep, your exam hasn't ended yet. Look at those tattoos. Badass. Yep. This I remember. You can't see a thing, right? Yep, because not a Nen user. The aura nodes are not opened up yet. You're not ready. You'll fucking die. The first person there's the teacher. That was such a cool revelation where it turned out that like it wasn't just coincidence. That guy was specifically searching Kurapika out. Just as Wing was searching Gon out. You can't see it, but you can sense it. Oh, that wasn't from an actual gun. Was he conjuring the bullet? He was conjuring the bullet. Return that shit now. Can a newbie who knows nothing of Nen defeat me? It's just going to show that like there becomes an evolution in the world and this show of where like it's kind of like in Dragon Ball and everything else too. Certain abilities, certain skill sets become completely irrelevant once you reach a certain stage. It just flicks it. I will teach you. Again, it's just so cool how, like, I thought this was such a random coincidence and I didn't really like that. Like, okay, what's going on? What kind of coincidences are these? Like, the plot structure is weird, but it all came together and blew my mind. The water divination technique. I want to know what happens to conjurers. Ooh, the aura nodes are open. Did he train in the same order as Gon and Killua did? What happens to the water for conjurers?
You're an organ donor.
You're a conjurer. Ooh. Can't do any, but you can technically, you can still you can change. So you can't, like, that's what I was wondering too. Can you be something, but you wish you were another thing? Like, Leorio, why the fuck am I an emitter? I mean, emitters suck. Learning. Okay, so percentages. I want to pause this. Pause. So, Conjure 100%. 80% can use transmitter abilities. 60% can use enhancer. So it's one step away is 80%, so you lose 20% of your power. Then 2 steps away, you can see for both manipulator and enhancer, it's 60%, so it goes down by 20s every time. That's why when you go 3 steps away to emitter on the opposite side, I would have thought opposite side complete opposite would have been 0, but it's not. It's 40%. But specialist is 0%. Even though he's a specialist. That's super interesting. Let me read that again. This is what I'm going to be doing from now on. I'm going to be pausing and rewinding when I need to. That are genetic or naturally acquired by growing up under extreme conditions. Oh! Curta clan! They have the highest chance of becoming specialists later on. It'd be like, hey, I got scarlet eyes. It'd be cool if Zushi became a specialist, but I doubt it. I need enough power to fight on my own. Why is this important? You are correct to assume that the fastest means to your goal would be via enhancer. Yep. The most efficacious for bolstering offensive, defensive, and healing capabilities. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Enhancer seems OP. Oh, so it's half of their original potency. This creates strain, which can weaken you. What happened to what's his name? Who did Hisoka fight? I forget his name. The Conjurer that was an enhancer but tried to use Conjurer techniques and he died. He's answering good. He's asking good questions here. I want to rewind that again. You need a stable power. If you're a master conjurer, are you equal to master enhancer? And he's saying no. Difficult, at least. See, so that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's kind of like Pokemon. A bit. You have your weaknesses and your strengths, their disadvantages and advantages. So you do want to be an enhancer. Oh. Oh. So I like that. I like this. It's not overpowered this way. You can't just... It's not like fucking Green Lantern where you can summon anything you want. It would make more sense to what? Yeah, to just buy a good sword. Yep. True. Though with Nen, you can easily make the sword appear and disappear. So conjured weapons aren't as effective as their physical counterparts, but you can't conjure anything omnipotent. I like that. So, it's like, he would have no reason to conjure melee weapons because he already has them. Just like Killua and Gon took 6 months. There we go. I want to be employed by the troupe. Or does he not want to be employed because he has someplace to be? Ah, that makes sense. I don't care what it is, just get me to the auction. Employers with a lot of influence generally post the more difficult jobs. He don't care. He doesn't have 0 experience. Feel like you got a lot of experience as a Curta claimant. Who will decide based on the interview, not your record. Looking for bodyguards. Let's hear it. Gun fanatic. Looking for a midget corporate. Okay, he's looking for a gun. Why is it called midget? Collector of fine china. Gun fanatic. Antique. Human trophies. Oh shit. Skin covered in snaking dragon tattoos. Jellied infant skulls. I can't help it. Go with that one. Go with that one. It sounds the coolest. Sounds the most fucked. Oh! Oh! Human trophies. Eyes. Scarlet eyes. Collecting scarlet eyes. Chains. Go with the first thing that comes to your mind. Because there's evil running loose that needs to be restrained. Chained down to hell. I like that. Sounds like some Ghost Rider shit. And I love Ghost Rider. Not anymore. These won't be ordinary chains. This'll be fascinating. I really like how how Togashi very intricately limits the abilities. You can conjure any chain you want, it just can't be an unbreakable chain. That person I've seen before. That thing that passed looked like a person I've seen. Yep. That looks like someone I've seen in the outro before. Or the intro or something. Plays a terrible melody of... I love that description. That's a badass sounding metaphor. That person looks familiar. From someone I've seen. They want the same thing as Kurapika. Who the hell are you? Nice teeth. Those chains look badass. They're like rings. Did he choose the human trophy one? I hope so. Because that's the one he'd be most emotionally connected to. If it's... Sup, ma? What's up? How you doing? Oh, these creepy guys. I'm sure you would, glasses at night guy. She's a hunter. Don't fuck with him. Is there no Japanese word for bodyguard? Huh. Okay, dude. Burn. You'll fuck yourself. And then they become incels so fast. Whoa! Whoa! Okay then. What nen usage is this? Oh, she's a dominatrix. She's into this BDSM. I can get behind that. She just became hotter. She just became way hotter. Okay, well, she's fired. Okay, then. Who the hell is that? That is the most unique facial hair. Corpse samples? What? His voice is badass. Oh, it's on the verge of another masterful poem. Okay, Robert Frost. Damn. So, Enhancer? Just going straight for the fists? Now back to appreciating the moon and writing your poem. A splendid full moon and pursuers as clumsy as baboons could be. Yeah, that didn't really hit. That kind of sucked. That's a cool shot. We're getting a whole lot of characters. I am having trouble keeping up. I'm gonna forget these names. I'm so bad with names. Nice Doberman. Who's Eliza? Or Eliza? Nice sideburns. Okay, we're back to a character I know. Oh, is this the employer? Which one did he choose? He had to have chosen the third, right? There's no way. He had to have So, the chains are always on. Are those real chains, or is he constantly conjuring the chains? Those guard dogs got nothing on Mike. Please tell me he chose the third. Mustache is covering the mouth. Trim that a bit. Oh, so hired multiple people, a full group of bodyguards. Oh, they chose the same. Nice bald head. I can't even tell if that's a boy or a girl. Or, homogenous or whatever. Just showing off the abs. Okay. Hot girls here, though. I like that. And we got the Riddler or something. Explain the contract. What's going on? Okay. I won't ask whether you have a license. Who cares? I'm only interested in whether you can obtain the items we request. Is he a part of the Phantom Troupe? Okay. Data cards. Imagine one of the cards leads back to Kurapika because he still has his scarlet eyes. Those chains are bad. Lock of hair from the famous actress Sarah. Right arm of a mummy. Not even going to say that. Patient scaly skin. Skull of a one-horned creature. Oh, shit. I knew it. Oh, shit. When Curta get excited, their eyes turn. Yeah, don't show your own eyes. Woo! Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So, either has to... infiltrate from the inside. So, is it... The Phantom Troupe killed all the other Curta clan members, so wouldn't they have all the eyes? Or they sold them off, made a whole bunch of money? Are they going to become friends? Two things collectors always want. Something extremely rare, yes. Colleagues to whom they can brag, yep, that's true too. Flex their egos. Yep. Oh yeah, same as Hisoka's doing. Ah, shit. Barest minimum requirement is that you be strong. Strong enough to... Oh, shit. Woo! We're getting a lot. Who's dying? That ginger gonna die? Go behind the old man. Okay. I want to see these shits in action, dude. Oh, come on. The music starts playing. God damn it. This is gonna be a squad, though. Wait, something about the Phantom Troupe. Where's my mouse? Let me go back. Yeah, avenge his brethren. And to punish the Phantom Troupe. Yep. And this is the first connection. So, let's discuss. First off, ignore the hair or notice it. I am officially a headband wearer now because my hair has grown so long. I need to wear headbands so as to keep my hair out of my face. Who is that guy from Haikyuu? Ukai. I'm channeling my inner Ukai. I dig it, but let's discuss. We got a new intro pre-OP. We already know everything it has to show us, I believe. I watched it multiple times. Not like it's going to give us any clues. Upon second watch, I was able to notice the background silhouettes of our familiar characters, but just as I said, not really any new information there. I already know where Gon, Killua, Leorio, Wing, Kurapika, Hisoka, Zushi, even Illumi all go. There was a silhouette for a specialist I didn't recognize, along with like 5 or 6 other silhouettes that were unfamiliar to me, but I don't really care since I'm obviously going to be introduced to them later on down the line. I'm a patient guy. We'll wait and see. I guess and suspect a few of them will end up matching the ensemble gathered by the end of the episode and who we've seen throughout the outros so far. We'll finally be seeing their relevance and impact on the story. Machi is literally the only one from those still shots that we've actually met and witnessed in action with her Nen stitches, which by now I assume make her a transmuter, just like her friend Hisoka, interestingly enough, I'll say. But it'll be nice to finally add to that list. We've seen all those still shots, all those characters. For like 10 episodes this outro has existed. I've had no idea who these people are. Now we're finally getting some information and getting these people into the story. But onto the episode. Finally, time for Kurapika awesomeness to begin. Leorio? Where art thou, Lord Leorio? But, oh well. To be honest, not that interested in him lately. I'm more happy to have some focus set back on Kurapika. I've missed him. He easily shoots up towards the top of my favorites list when his character actually gets to absorb some spotlight. About time we see him again to get fledged out, because much of the next arc is going to involve him, as we know, working with and getting information from Hisoka. Both of them, as I understand it, interested in taking down the Phantom Troupe. Hisoka from the inside, Kurapika from the out. That'll be a duo sure to get me aroused. So we need to be brought up to speed on everything we have missed from his own training and journey into mastering Nen, now that we're in the real world, and as we were likely halfway around the planet at Heaven's Arena for months. Time for some different scenery and a new fit. Man's is drippy in his new threads. The fresh cut, we love to see it. New man. I am glad we didn't have our precious time wasted on training montages, especially if they weren't going to add actual value to the story, though it does suck. I wish we didn't have to spend, again, our precious time on flashbacks. That always gets annoying. I've already rewatched these scenes a good 3, 4, 5 times, trust me. Though, sure, it is cool to see it in a different perspective with our own omnipotent knowledge as a narrator point of view we get to carry from our time with Gon and Killua, while the character we're with now didn't possess that same knowledge as we do at that given time. Something as simple as now understanding why Kurapika was originally denied employment, not because of his lack of experience, but because he couldn't see that woman using her Nen, because his aura nodes had not been opened up yet. And going out into the real world, with just a hunter's license means jack shit except for your death sentence. And what that woman also meant by the exam not being over, it only having really just begun, the real exam, and he should come back once he can see. I didn't know what that meant back almost 10 episodes ago, which, like, damn, you realize that was 10 episodes ago. But now you almost feel ahead of the curve now that you, as the viewer, can see. Same with Kurapika dodging that bullet from his now sensei, whose name I know to be Mizuken, from the encyclopedia lesson or whatever it's called that Gon and Killua always do at the end of the episode. They revealed that. I understand that bullet to now be a conjured bullet. He didn't actually fire that out of a gun, correct? And while Kurapika could not see it, he could sense it, which is cool. I am glad out of everything I would have rather seen been completely skipped over, we did get to at least see firsthand Kurapika perform the water divination technique through his own use of Hatsu. I already knew he would discover himself to be a conjurer. I mostly wanted to see what happens to the water and mostly hear the conversation and dialogue that took place in that moment, since when Gon and Killua found out their own Nen types, some of the best lore and dialogue we received so far came from those scenes. But kind of boring that all that happens is something appears in the water, conveying the physical manifestations conjurers can, of course, produce. But I was not disappointed by the character development and the dialogue we got here. It was some of the best. Remember how I described conjurers several episodes ago when I gave my personality analyses for each type? Hisoka himself described conjurers as high strung. I can agree. I more thoroughly described conjurers as the more serious faced, incredibly disciplined, not so much the life of any party, but the rock you can tether yourself to, aka the one you can count on to remain grounded. Conjurers are also mostly overly stoic. Can also get the idea by spending some time with them that they're almost always on their toes, ready for pretty much anything, which makes them trepidatious. Not to be mixed up with anxious or nervous, no, but cautious, careful, yes. Through this, I see no one being more observant than a conjurer, a true analytic, strategic mind, a tactician. If you think you're a step ahead, odds are you're actually two behind. Independent, private, keeps themselves emotionally private and closed off. Through these traits, know that whatever a conjurer chooses to manifest has been calculated down to the decimal, entirely deliberate and purposeful, couldn't be more thought through and thought out to suit them and complement them and accomplish their needs in a perfectly practical fashion. Now, I think this description holds up perfectly in this scene. Kurapika is not an excitable individual. Upon discovering he is a conjurer, he remains level headed as a conjurer would, and as we've seen Kurapika been since episode 1. But Kurapika expresses open disappointment almost immediately because he is the type to think thoroughly and deep given any information or situation rather than mindlessly react and proceed without caution. It's really interesting with this if you contrast between Gon and Killua when they first became aware that they are enhancers and transmuters respectively, and Kurapika learning he is a conjurer. Gon and Killua, being the young, naive, blissful children that they are, they don't take a second to think how that might suit them well or unwell, what this means for achieving their goals, what it means for growing stronger, the techniques they can get into. Quite literally, they looked at each other like, awesome, that's cool, and just move on. He also asks questions you would think to ask. Kurapika ponders, and as a result, is left disappointed. Kurapika would have preferred to be an enhancer, which is so interesting to me because not only does that so clearly not fit his personality, but one of my own biggest curiosities was, do people wish they were a different Nen type than they are? Since you can't choose, you're stuck with the cards you're dealt, especially if there are Nen types more advantage to have. or that are objectively stronger and could beat out an opposing type, Kurapika has very dead set clear goals, which do admittedly fit the description of an enhancer, very goal oriented people. And an enhancer's abilities, which are most efficacious for bolstering offensive, defensive, and healing capabilities, as we're told by Mizuken, would more straightforwardly lend themselves to accomplishing Kurapika's goals. You see Kurapika become uneasy, a little anxious of the fact having a different Nen class might place him at a power disadvantage, especially to enhancers, which is true. Conjurers are limited in combat because conjurers tend to lean to either offense or defense, rendering them vulnerable on the other end of that spectrum. But under the right circumstances, this same gravitation toward one side or the other can make one incredibly strong. And someone like Kurapika, he definitely has a good head on his shoulders to properly and strategically place himself in such right circumstances. The diagram Mizukin draws out is also very helpful. Again, probably because Kurapika asked good questions in order to know more. If he can't be an enhancer, Kurapika most likely asked what his odds are at being able to learn and use other techniques. So essentially, when looking at the diagram, you place yourself in your corner, one step away, or better stated, I guess, Nen types that are adjacent to your own, you hold an 80% chance to effectively learn, harness, and use those techniques. So Kurapika has an 80% chance to use transmuter abilities. Every one additional step away after that drops your odds by 20%. So Kurapika possesses a 60% chance to learn and use enhancer abilities that he so strongly desires, which, hey, that's over 50%. You have slightly higher odds than a coin flip. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. The one technique Kurapika should bother least with is emitter. Only a 40% chance. Allocate your time and your energy elsewhere. We saw Castro fail to properly utilize techniques. He had a 60% chance of even learning in the first place. So it might be smartest to maximize yourself. Don't spread yourself too thin. In fact, Castro would be the perfect example for why Kurapika should not try and use enhancer abilities. It's just the flipped version. Castro was an enhancer who tried to use conjure abilities. We don't want Kurapika to be a conjurer trying to use enhancer abilities. We're even told that that percent chance not only dictates your ability to learn said techniques, but the potency of that technique as well if you learn it. So not only was it harder for Castro to learn his doppelganger technique, it was also only 60% as potent, while his Yamcha Roga Fufuken knockoff that actually worked against Hisoka would have operated at 100% potency and been even deadlier had he devoted enough time to it. However, even though the specialist class is directly adjacent to him, he has a 0% chance at specialist techniques, as those are just in a different league. It's not something you can learn. They are incredibly unique abilities only bestowed upon you through genetics or extreme environmental conditions. So, Scarlet Eyes. Kurapika thinks so much about his weaknesses, his disadvantages, wishing to be an enhancer when enhancers have the hardest time to ever even wish to be specialists. So Kurapika holds the true advantage. He just doesn't see it yet. Where he falls short on using both offensive and defensive techniques as an enhancer can, with his scarlet eyes, he holds a power only he can possess. And that is where his true strength and advantage lies. I would have thought Kurapika might have brought that up right away to his teacher, like, hey, not the flex or anything, but I'm actually the last remaining member of the Curta clan, and I possess the only remaining scarlet eyes. Do you think that qualifies me as a specialist? And I'm sure Mizukin would have been like, fuck yeah, are you kidding me? You're bitching about being a conjurer. dude, you got the ace of spades up your sleeve. Don't worry about it. And Kurapika is asking good ass questions here. I was proud. Something Gon and Killua didn't do and don't do. They walked away from Wing and set off on their own without having any knowledge like this. He asks the exact question I asked you guys. How do fully mastered Nen types stack up against each other? Is it kind of like Pokemon? Would a fully mastered enhancer mop the floor against a fully mastered conjurer? And Mizuken admits, to put it simplest, it would be extremely difficult for a conjurer to come out on top against an enhancer. So I'm somewhat right, am I not? It is a little like Pokemon. In simple terms of like a fire type Pokemon is obviously going to have an extremely difficult time defeating a water type. So will you guys allow me to chalk that one as a little accurate prediction I correctly made? A tiny W, a tiny dub. Will you give me that one? Or is there even more nuance to it still? And the main takeaway for me though, I really, really dig how well thought through Tagashi laid out and wrote this power system. He did a good job at taming the beast that are power systems in anime. They can go wild, I'm sure, if not responsibly taken care of. That train can derail so fucking fast and just cause a mess in your story. Like, I understood enhancers already. Close quarters is prime time real estate for them. Up close and personal is their bread and butter to most effectively utilize the techniques that they develop, whether it be some furious fist action, spinning leg kicks, headbutt dashes, I don't know, protective shrouds. But at range, they are most vulnerable. So they have to get close to their opponents. The more distance between them and their enemy, the worse it is for them. And I like that balance. Whereas emitters, you could say, operate completely opposite. So an emitter plus an enhancer duo, army of two, would be fucking nasty. Let alone those two are adjacent to each other as well, with an 80% effectiveness and potency in learning those respective techniques. So, like, damn, that would be one dirty dog right there. But when I heard conjurers being able to manifest their nen into whatever they please, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are these people going to be? Like a fucking Hal Jordan or something? Green Lantern? Sounds kind of crazy and overpowered to me. But here it's explained very well and shows how careful Tagashi was. Conjurers cannot manifest anything omnipotent or invincible or what would otherwise exceed or supersede human ability. Example being, you cannot conjure a sword that can cut through anything. Surely you can, of course, conjure a damn sharp, sturdy sword for you to wield in your hand. But considering you can't manifest it to be any more durable or any sharper than a regular sword anyone else could likewise buy from a blacksmith and own themselves, it makes little to no sense to waste all of your energy and focus on that when you too could just simply buy a physical sword and it would perform even better. Though your main advantage would obviously be the ability to make the sword appear and disappear at will, not being encumbered by the weight of like my boy Geralt of Rivia always is when I'm playing The Witcher, and I just got that "you are encumbered" notification on my screen because I'm carrying like I got like 30 damn swords on me, 20 sets of armor because I love killing NPCs and looting their bodies, and I'll be damned if I'm dropping this 60-kilogram axe that sells for 400 gold pieces. I shall slowly walk those 20 minutes to the closest village and sell all of this stuff, okay? So, essentially, conjured weapons can never be as effective as their physical counterparts. Swords, guns, armor, what have you. Like, Kurapika already has melee weapons, those wooden swords that can also act as a nunchaku. So no reason to conjure such a thing as those physical, tangible weapons will always be more effective. Hence, This is why conjuring is way more difficult than mere enhancement. Mizuken really tries to instill into Kurapika how important it is that he has a vast amount of focus, training, and imagination above all in order to be a successful, imposing, intimidating, powerful conjurer. Like, it is hard to creatively think of what you can possibly manifest that essentially doesn't even exist physically in the world that anybody else can have too. Like, you got to be really creative and think outside the box. So then, what ultimately ends up being Kurapika's preferred tool of choice? Chains. Fascinating. A little confusing, but chains are fucking badass. And you know what's interesting about that? When you compare and contrast Killua Gon with Kurapika again, Gon and Killua completely left Zushi and Wing at Heaven's Arena without even having established or even begun to build their own techniques as transmuters and as an enhancer. Well, Kurapika immediately decided before leaving his teacher, he already has his main conjure ability thought out. Just goes to show the contrast between them as characters. And that chain ring necklace combo is fucking sick. I actually think jewelry like that in real life is so cool. I've seen it on a few people and it just looks so cool and stylish. I've seen artists and jewelry makers on like Etsy and stuff selling handcrafted ones. I gotta admit, I was close to buying one myself. They are so cool. I'd wear the hell out of one if I had that type of confidence. And not just because it's a Hunter x Hunter thing. I actually knew about them and saw them before seeing this episode. So if anything, that was actually a cool connection to make. Something that I saw in real life is actually something that is in Hunter x Hunter. And I don't know if one was influenced by the other, um, but it was just or inspired by the other, but it was just really cool. But I think I might just stick to my individual rings and individual bracelets. Maybe someday I'll rock one. I love Ghost Rider 2. I've read so many Ghost Rider comics, one of my favorite comic book characters. So chains are cool as hell as a weapon. It's actually very versatile. Kurapika even embodies almost pure Ghost Rider, pure spirit of vengeance, when he justifies his peculiar choice to Mizuken when he said, because there's evil running loose that needs to be chained down to hell. You can't get more edgy than that, okay? Mizuken's pun killed a small part of me, though, after that. Just, I have a feeling that you're really chaining yourself down. A piece of me died right then and there. Don't say that. And every time I had to rehear that while I was editing. And this statement of his offended Kurapika. And there are two ways in my mind I think it could be. Maybe he said that comment in mostly a reference to Mizuken thinking that chains can't reasonably be as valuable or versatile a weapon in his opinion. So he thinks Kurapika is restricting himself. But to me, what I think of more, or I connect this statement to, is Kurapika's inner conflict residing within him that we have seen all the way since Trick Tower. How much can and will Kurapika allow himself to be ruled by his desire for justice, vengeance? This life of his dishing retribution, is that what he wants for himself? Is that going to be his entire purpose in this world? Do these obsessions kill the chance for actual freedom and actual peace and ultimately chain him down mentally, emotionally, spiritually? That's my interpretation. But let me pick your brain a bit here to get your thoughts and explanations, because this is what I've been thinking. How come a conjurer can't manifest something even if his imagination could conceive of it? Like, what prevents the will of it? Mizuken thinks chains won't be a good weapon because they can only be as strong as normal human-made chains. And yeah, we've already seen Killua in the Zoldyck dungeons, for example, overcome those with ease. So logically, Killua could break Kurapika's chains too. But how come his smaller chains couldn't just possess the durability and strength of, say, chains you see linked together that form like fucking anchors on ships? Big strength in a small package. Like, your imagination could conceive of that, so what's stopping it from being manifested? Like, just because a blacksmith couldn't make that same type of chain means it can't exist at all? Like, what effects would combining transmuter abilities have with this? Hisoka can literally make his aura turn into a rubbery, gummy consistency. Like, the entire chemical makeup of his aura changes and can alter the material and texture of his aura as well. So, what would stop Kurapika from wanting his manifested chains to either be as hard as diamonds or chains that can wrap around your enemy and become like gluey, completely trapping the person in like a gossamer almost? And if transmuters can alter the consistency and material chemical makeup of their aura, and conjurers are adjacent to that, why couldn't you form a combination of both techniques? Like, why couldn't he create chains that first appear like steel or iron at first, which are already extremely strong, but then change the chains into like rubber? So instead of someone being able to break them, the best they can do now is just stretch them, stretch the chains because they're made out of rubber now, but they can't escape. So I'm just brainstorming here. A lot of people ask questions like, why? I ask questions, why not? Why can't I? So riddle me this then. Shoot down that idea because I'm genuinely curious how that would work. Explain how I'm wrong in this idea or assumption of mine. But yeah, you really start feeling like this is an entirely different Kurapika than before. The old Kurapika feels dead almost in a sense. The Kurapika we see now has been too long cut off from the warmth and comfort and positive influence from his friendships. He's still as stoic, disciplined, quick witted, intelligent, and methodical as he's always been. Don't get me wrong there. The details of his elaborate plan to track down the Phantom Troupe by associating and ingratiating himself with the human trophy collectors perfectly showcases these trait characteristics of his. But conversely, his defiant marching through the streets of a desolate city, radiating anger and ferocity off his skin, his fearsome heartbeat that plays a terrible melody of rage, noted by that familiar looking Nen user that passed by, signifies the feeling to me that his essence or ethos of keeping himself calm, cool, and collected in nature has become brittle and fragile. Twice in this episode did his eyes turn scarlet, more than we've ever seen before. It is becoming a more frequent occurrence that he can't seem to conceal as much anymore. Therefore, he cannot manage his emotions as well either. He has become more easily emotionally compromised. To me, it feels almost like a man on the brink of something bad about to happen. His training has made him more powerful, sure, but as a byproduct, he is obsessive. His lust for vengeance, I can see mirroring Hisoka's lust for violence. And you're telling me these two people are going to be teaming up and working together? Jesus Christ. And I mean, is it a matter of circumstance? Like, why delay when you now possess the power and opportunities that you didn't before? Or is it more so a matter of inevitability, as Wing stated to Gon, Killua, and Zushi about Nen, hardening that which is soft? You also got to question where the needle on his moral compass will point or fall, especially considering this show is almost completely absent of morals. How will he view assassins such as the Zoljiks, Killua specifically, who kill by contract and as a means of pure business sake, for example, as compared maybe to those who kill for fun, murder innocents, or those that directly hunted down his Curta clan? I honestly think Kurapika is setting up to become the most interesting, multi layered complex character in my eyes that I'm going to be most interested in, that I want to see on screen most. Now, let's move on to a quick degenerate comment incoming to balance out the vibe. Baise? She hot. We like Baise. She the type of animated cartoon woman I'd see as a little kid and know, yeah, I like girls. As creepy as that guy was licking his lips in public, telling her he'd like her to guard his body, I mean, I can't disagree with you there. But that's some game that you spit to a girl that you know likes you back at least, over some text or some FaceTime or in person when you guys are flirting back and forth and shit, kind of talking that freaky shit when she's also giving off that vibe. You don't just spew that shit upon first greeting before even saying hi on a public sidewalk in front of everybody. Horny hours aren't until a little bit later. Restrain yourself, okay? But yeah, Baise is a smoke show. She's a babe. Swing. She even got the purple hair. My favorite color is purple. Even better. And the hair up in the bun? Chef's kiss. Like, bruh, your name is Baise. I don't know much French, but I know her name is literally kiss in French. And if you a kinky, freaky, nasty one, you also know that it also is slang for to fuck in French too. So I take it she is a manipulator, which I thought manipulators could only control objects or animals with their aura, not people, but okay, I'll get past it because again, Sahat. Hot babe, where her manipulator technique is literally love potion mind control esque enslaving anyone she kisses, and her name is quite fittingly Kiss or to fuck in French. Like, yeah, she's a badass bitch, all right. I don't guard ugly men. Like, God, someone get the ice for that burn. That just made her more hot, okay? We got Kurapika and this hot chick together in the next few episodes. Fuck yes. What a combo, dear God. Thank you. So we learn we're only one single month away from the auction. So it's August, since we know the auction takes place in September. The quest treasure Easter egg hunt mini adventure they're going to be on has to be accomplished quickly and efficiently, despite just how fucking random these items are. They each receive their own data card, so I don't know if they'll be working together to find all the items or if they're going to be going their own ways and reassembling them at the end. All these items, does each person have to bring back all of them, or does each person just have to bring back one of the set? Or as a collective group, they have to get all of them together. I don't really know how that works. I think at the end they said you only need to find one item, but I don't know if he meant that as a group or individually. I think he meant individually. I think it would be good for Kurapika to make allies again. He's kind of gone off the deep end during his time training in isolation and seclusion. Never hurts to make allies and friends, you know. Your time's being saved and the positive benefits derived from Gon, Killua, and Leorio can surely attest to that. Might I recommend your first friend being Baise? Just a personal aesthetic choice, but by all means, you decide yourself. So they gotta find or procure a lock of hair of the famous actress Sarah. That can't be too hard. You either ask for one or you grab her by the back of the fucking head and you pull that shit as hard as you can get and you get the fuck out of there with a fistful of hair. That one seems the easiest. Next up is right arm of a mummy from an Egyptian tomb. And side note, it's weird seeing real world names used in a fictional world. Like Egypt, I didn't know we were on Earth. How the hell do you guys have an Egypt too? But I digress. It says just an arm from any generic mummy out there. So break into a museum or something. You don't got to worry about stealing like King Tut's arm. Just any old mummy schmuck will do just fine. Seems pretty easy. Then you got a ichthyosis patient scaly skin. I'm going to say this one's hard just because I can barely pronounce the damn word, and I got no clue what the fuck that is. So, not sure how you're going to go about harvesting skin without having to either flay somebody. I don't know. Probably the one I'd least want to go for. So, after that would be skull from a one-horned creature. That doesn't sound too bad. Finding the one-horned creature in the first place would probably be the hardest part of that. Killing it, I imagine, should be easy. Like, if you can't kill it, then I guess you don't even really deserve to even be here amongst all these people. And for something as, for example, Manipulator should have the easiest time with this, since they can control creatures. Just throw that motherfucker off a cliff or some shit. Make your way casually down to the bottom, find his dead corpse, pop the head off, easy. Last, but certainly not least, the most fucked up one of them all, the one I knew was gonna be on this list. When it turned out he was gonna not just be working for human trophy collectors, but finding items for them, I was like, yep, Kurapika is gonna have to find some scarlet eyes. This one's fucked because the Phantom Troupe killed off his entire clan, probably harvested all of their eyes and sold them on the black market and such. So they are all scattered around the world, probably. He is the only one remaining alive with scarlet eyes, but it's not like they can be wanting freshly harvested eyes. Like, don't they know that every one of the Curta clan members is dead? Like, or do they know that there's one lone survivor that was spared and escaped death? I don't even know if they're aware that everybody in the Kurta clan has been killed off, or are they aware that there's one lone survivor, but they don't know who it is, and they want that one person tracked down. That just sounds next to impossible to me. That's why I think it says you only need to bring back one of the items, and you just choose which one you want to go for. There's only one person left on the planet, and that's Kurapika. And I'm sure they would like just steal a display pair that someone has on their mantle or something. But it's still fucked up. He's gonna have to find someone who either owns the eyes of a fellow Kurta clan member, and that person is like either a sicko who bought that item, or is someone who actually killed the Kurta clan themselves and kept the eyes themselves as like a memento or a souvenir or a trinket. And imagine someone catches on that he's a Kurta clan member, that they see his scarlet eyes. He almost gave that away in that room when he became emotionally compromised, and they would try to kill him for those eyes. Like, god damn, that would be insane. I have no idea how he's going to manage this. For sure, he's going to want to go after the eyes because he's most emotionally invested in that. The others can search whatever the hell they want to search for. He's calling dibs on the eyes. And the only good side of this is like, damn, hey, if Kurapika is trying to go full Trojan horse on the Phantom Troupe and any affiliation to them by winning over their trust and their respect, he's definitely come to the right fucking place, and this is surely the best way to do it. I'm really starting to get the eerie feeling this is going to be the beginning to a foreshadowing of events that culminates in Kurapika losing his eyes. Maybe not here, and maybe not anytime soon, maybe so, but I can sense it being a very symbolic, powerful, even necessary step in the evolution of him as a character to lose his eyes. And like, oh, damn. Okay, I'm thinking about it right now. What if his obsession has rooted itself so deep within him, his desire for vengeance is so great that he sacrifices his own eyes as a means to an end at achieving his goals, the ultimate form of earning the Phantom Troupe and affiliates trust? Fuck. That would be dark as hell. But you can't really think about it much in the moment, as this interview process that's going on, or exam, or whatever Kurapika is a part of right now, it also involves escaping this mansion with their lives. So best get moving, get those chains out. So I can't wait to see Kurapika in action and what he makes of those chains of his. I'm so pumped for that. The cliffhanger on this episode gave blue balls, okay? Almost made me feel sorry that I only watch and review one episode at a time, because I'm so hyped to get into that next episode. And the poet and Baise will definitely be reoccurring characters, I'm sure we will see for a while, since they had their own dedicated like introductions and scenes. One is hot, one is a poetic badass. I couldn't ask for anything better to go with my boy Kurapika here. Now it will be time to tell just how well suited those chains of vengeance are to someone like Kurapika as the hunt begins. I'm excited, dare I say aroused, and no, not just from Baise, although she has a lot to do with it. But Kurapika needs the spotlight for at least a couple episodes more, please. He's snagged my top spot for character that I'm most interested in, invested in. He makes me proud. He gets me hyped. But there we have it. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button and let me know is awesome. Better yet, 70% of you watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to stay in the loop. Keep the conversation going in the comments down below where this community can grow and connect even more. And if you want to support me and get early access alongside exclusive content in return, you can always join Jughead's Journey over on my Patreon. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time, thank you, be happy, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.